The weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather, and we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Atlanta Falcons. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback.
Let's go. Check it. Ready.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Christian Harris. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they are a game under 500 now following the loss a week ago. And this is a team, Charles, that just has not been able to string victories together.
Yeah, they're certainly going the wrong way, aren't they? Because it looked like they had things pointing in the right direction, but now they've lost 2 straight, and that means this game is vital. Extremely important, because if they fall 2 games below 500, the road back into playoff contention, awfully difficult.
They'll look to throw here. He'll check this down to Hines. Just a gain of a couple there. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Well, this defense for the Falcons, they were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you come in off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession, it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
Returnable here from the 38. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And it will be Falcon football. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 45. And Lance now to throw. And the screen unsuccessfully dropped him.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
They find some open field here. Touchdown, Falcons! Early on, they had all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early, give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, we've had that conversation with prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know It certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football.
A tough adjustment to the NFL throughout his rookie season, and his problem with turnovers is only exacerbated by his early showing today. That's a couple for him here in this first half, and he's cleared the double-digit mark for the entire season.
They'll try to run this one in, and he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. A great lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and that makes the score 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. If they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to it.
They just gave up a sack there, if I'm not mistaken. They gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really close, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, obviously searching for their first touchdown this game, partner. And that quick 3 and out, that's not going to achieve that at all. Give victory to the secondary there. They brought out tight coverage on that 3rd down snap.
Las Vegas sending out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He'll look to set up his blockers. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
And here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
But that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Throwing his Lance on third down. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 17-yard line. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still touchdown.
Mecole Hardman with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Boy, CD, what a start for them. Still in the first quarter. They're absolutely blitzing them. All the points that they put up. I'm not sure what you say on the other sideline right now.
I think it's as simple as this, partner. The way that they're playing, there's no limits on what this league could become.
So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. It's C.J. Henderson picking it off, and the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. So his struggles just continuing here in the first half throwing the football. Charles got 3 interceptions.
And they don't feel like they're just great plays by the defense. There's a sense that maybe he's a little careless with the football now. So some of the great coaches in the past, you know what they've always said? I can't teach you, obviously, because you're not listening. So maybe the bench can teach you. He's got to be careful now. He might get pulled.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Lance looking to throw it. Got this complete to the tight end Pitts. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender. But the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports.
Here we go.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Now a play fake. Lance. Catch is made by Hardman. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. How about 25 yards on third down? They'll take it.
But the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
On first down, Lance. And that'll be caught by Tony. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Okay, ready?
Here's 2nd and 1 now from the 7. And they'll run on the inside handoff. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
McPherson's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice win for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. Here's the Raiders punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and out will come the offense as they take over.
Here we go, set.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action.
Go now.
And now they'll throw with Lance. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now Lance. That's caught left side by Hardman. Touchdown, Falcons! Mecole Hardman on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Falcons are able to widen their lead here in this first half. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. He'll drop to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5.
Let's go now.
And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. Now back to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Bush. And some space here. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15. So we are at halftime here in Atlanta with the Falcons out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 27, Lance. Looking there for Pitts, but intercepted.
And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
2nd and 6. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They'll drop the throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Connor. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
There's a nice pickup right there. And after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
This is Hines. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the 3rd quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback.
Touchdown, Raiders!
Isaiah Pacheco.
His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Raiders use the short field to get in for 6.
Extra point right down the middle. So they do get 1 score back, but still a long way to go here in the 3rd quarter. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Still comfortably on top, 3rd quarter as they start things here with a 1st and 10.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that.
Ready.
Throwing now is Lance.
And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 30 yards.
Frankly, I don't know that this defense knows what to do anymore. Just look at their body language out there. The passing game has absolutely been relentless throughout.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Off of play action, here's Lance. And down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Here's Lance. And that is caught. It's Ridley. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
They'll go with a touch pass here, trying to pick it up. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Lance to throw for it on 4th down. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. So the drive stays alive after the 4th down conversion. 1st and 10 inside the 30. Going down the middle, and it's complete. Touchdown, Falcons! A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. McPherson on for the point after. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Opted to run for it. The decision, a good one. Picking up the 1st, getting 14 yards on the scramble. So both teams trade touchdowns in the 3rd as we're through 3 quarters of play. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. He finds his man, complete. It's Bush. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 23 yards on the play. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They run with Hines. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
So after a run like that, I will guarantee that the head coach is saying to himself, maybe even over his headsets to the rest of the staff, where was that all game long? We needed that. That's the type of run we planned for going into the game. Didn't get much of that, but let's move it forward. Let's build on it, get ready for the next week, and let's go play.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
The offense on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. He'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
On now is the field goal team. Here's the Raiders. We'll try for 3. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is right there. It's good, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just
set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 53 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Here's Lance to throw it. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. The Lance going to throw. He completes it to Ridley. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 35. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here 1st and 10. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Steps away to his left. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. A little bit of a breakdown there defensively, and the RPO turns into a big chunk play.
And when you think about running offense, the word comes to mind, assignments, right? Because you have to carry those out. But you have to play assignment football on defense, too, against a team that runs these RPOs because everyone has to be in the right place. Who's got the quarterback? Who's got the running back? Who's covering the receivers? This one worked quite well on that play.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on 1st. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they've put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Charles, a lot of happy faces